Welcome to InkThinks. I've talked about Waluigi a huge number of times on this channel. I have a whole playlist dedicated to the topic. And while I've talked about his chances of getting into Smash, the arguments against assist trophies, or more, there's one aspect of the conversation that I've left out, and that's what Waluigi's inclusion would mean for the community of the speculation scene. Let me explain what I mean. It's no secret that Waluigi has been the subject of a lot of contention within the Smash community. People tend to hate him or tend to love him. He has always been a very polarizing pick, which I think is why he's so popular to discuss on YouTube. But I think if he were added to the game, that is, upgrading him from an assist trophy to a fully fledged fighter, I think that it would really damage the speculation scene. Let me explain what I mean. Back in the days of Brawl or even Smash 4, while we didn't have any official fan rules, the predictions that we made were based off of patterns and they were fairly accurate. A lot of people weren't surprised when Mega Man got into the game, or honestly even when Pac-Man got into the game. But as Smash Ultimate's development cycle, and more specifically its DLC cycle, has come around, we've seen them take every so-called fan rule and shatter it, throw it out the window, and stomp on the shards. And that's seriously cool in one sense, but also seriously troublesome in another. We'll start with the positives. For one, I think that it's incredible to think of the fact that we could get literally just about anyone, as we see rules like Western characters or characters from the same company not being eligible to get in the game shattered over and over. It opens up the door to a ton of new characters to speculate about, and I'm all on board talking about unique characters. I think it's really good for a healthy speculation scene to have a wide variety of characters that they talk about. That's one of my biggest criticisms in the Smash Bros. Speculation scene, because it seems like every Smash channel is talking about the same 5 or 10 characters. Heck, that's why I made my whole final analysis playlist, is because so many people were talking about the same characters that I wanted to give them an analytical look. But the issue becomes that when people repeat the same characters over and over and over, we subtly trick ourselves and everyone in the community to thinking that these characters are more likely. And in all honesty, the Smash Bros. Speculation scene doesn't have a super good track record of accurately predicting who's getting in the game. Now, don't get me wrong, Joker and Terry both had their fans, and Banjo-Kazooie was definitely a fan favorite, but most of these characters weren't widely speculated about. When you look through speculation lists at the time, you see characters like Geno, Crash Bandicoot, Sora, etc. We don't have a super good track record of predicting the DLC, if we're being totally honest. It's a weird balance in the speculation community of speculating about characters that you think would be fun to get in the game and trying to analytically make predictions based off of data and patterns to see who you think stands a good chance of getting into the game. And that's where I think Waluigi would be really problematic. If he were added to the game, it would totally change the face of the speculation scene forever in the Smash community. Right now, we don't know what fan rules are legit and we don't know which ones are made up. The assist trophies argument is probably the most popular one here that people tend to be divided on. People either say, well, Nintendo's never done it, so they're never going to do it. And other people say, yeah, but these characters are so popular that they're eventually gonna have to put them in the game. I fall somewhere in the middle. I'm more of an assist trophy agnostic, meaning I don't necessarily believe either way until I see some more evidence. But if Waluigi were added to the game, it would feel like any sort of fan rule was officially thrown out of the window. We wouldn't have a problem with more first-party characters, there would be no issue of starring in your own game, there'd be no issue of moveset, there'd be no issue of assist trophies. It would just feel like every single fan barrier started breaking down, which is so cool. Like, don't get me wrong, in one way that's awesome. Like I said, we're gonna get so many more characters to talk about if Waluigi is added into the game, especially if he's not the final DLC or if they announce a Fighters Pack 3 after this. Where the trouble comes in is the other purpose of the speculation scene, which isn't just to talk about cool characters or characters you think would be fun, but rather to try and accurately predict who's gonna get into the game. And any sort of track record that we had is gonna go out the window if Waluigi gets in. Right now, there seems to be a narrowed down list of, I don't know, maybe 10 to 20 candidates that people talk about. And the argument for them being included is they're main characters of a really popular game that's third party, has a lot of fans, and they aren't represented in Smash already. Waluigi's inclusion would show that none of that matters too much. And coming with that is the connotation that everyone is on the table. It's gonna open up so much more conversation about assist trophies, Mii costumes, spirits, which has already been debunked, but spirits, bosses, and more. It's really gonna take whatever sort of pinpoint that we have on characters in the Smash community and blow it up from the 10s or 20s to, I don't know, the 70s or 80s. And while it is going to make speculation more difficult, I also think that it's going to make people more passionate. One of the hardest things for me about assist trophies is that it's kind of a letdown to fans if they do disconfirm. A lot of fan favorite characters got in as assist trophies, whether that be Waluigi, Crystal, Shadow, Shovel Knight. These are all characters that Nintendo fans wanted to see, and so having the option of bringing them into the game as full fighters is going to be awesome, and it's also going to drive the conversation in so many different directions. I'm kind of torn on this because, like I said, in one sense that's really cool, and I think it's awesome to see people talking about the characters that they want. I think it would lead to a really healthy discussion and a really fun community to be a part of. The only part that tears me away from this fantasy of people talking about any character that they want is the idea that we're really going to have no sense of speculating accurately. I think it would really throw any sort of normalcy within the community out of the window as far as that, which could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing depending on how you look at it. Like I said, we don't have a great track record, so we might not be losing too much. All in all, the inclusion of Waluigi would be so much more than just a purple fan favorite character getting into the game. It would represent the disintegration of all sorts of fan rules that have been developed over the years. It would represent the disintegration of a lot of fan favorites in the speculation community taking the spotlight as more and more characters are added to the scene. The only way I can really see getting around this is if they were to add Waluigi as the final DLC, but then that leads to a whole new discussion of why Waluigi was chosen over other assist trophy fan favorites. So I don't know, these are my thoughts on the matter. What do you guys think that Waluigi would do to the speculation scene? If you want to see more of my thoughts on Waluigi, I'm going to link the whole series in the playlist to the right. On the left is something that YouTube handpicked just for you. If you want to see exclusive content, influence my videos, or get feedback on your own content, consider backing me on Patreon, the link's in the description. Make sure to hit subscribe if you want more content like this, and until next time, stay smashing.